Big Chad. Big Chad's in the house, my friends. Thank you so much. Big thank you. Big thank you. It's Thursday. Feels like a Friday, though. Thursday, October 22nd, October 27th. With a 7, 2022. Folks, thank you so much. Thanks for hanging out with me here. This is one of my very rare live streams. I think the last time I did a live stream was about a month ago. But you know, there's been plenty of content since then. So let's kind of jump right into that. Look at my YouTube page. I've had a lot of content just in the last month. I mean, the last live stream was the advanced masterclass. So first of all, if you haven't seen the video from a month ago, you need to watch it, especially all of my students, all of my serious students, because that's now part of the playlist masterclass technical analysis tutorials. You have to watch all of these. Kind of recommend watching all of these before you risk even $1. That's where you need to start. This is the best, the best I can offer you is in that playlist. So I did an advanced webinar to add to the 3 beginner webinars. I've also done I've uploaded since the last live stream, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've uploaded 5 more Twitter Spaces conversations. This playlist, Twitter Spaces, I have 17 videos. They're all like an hour and a half to 2 hours of just me answering random questions. Like, how cool is that? And it's like the kind of questions you would be asking. Thank you so much, Bob. It's great to see you as well. It would be like whatever questions you want to ask, I pretty much answer them. If you're a news trader, if you're struggling, it's a great place for you to start. Just play this. Play it while you're driving to work. Play it while you're going for a walk. Work through these. You're going to learn so much. So, since the last time we've talked, I've uploaded 5 more spaces. I also uploaded lesson 18 from Trading Wisdom. I am the author of Trading Wisdom. That's available right now on Amazon Kindle, audiobook, cover, and paperback. I just had a few new like reviews. That was great. I love kind of the feedback from people. So I got a few new reviews. But there's a free version on my YouTube channel, Chad's Trading. If you go to the playlist, Trading Wisdom, I now have 18 of the 50. I'll eventually have the whole book for free. Check that out. I will take this opportunity to mention that I'm about to publish my 3rd book, Trading Quotes, a daily dose of trading wisdom. And it's 365 quotes. It's a quote for every day. And then I do a review every quarter and I talk about my favorite quotes. You're going to love it. I keep like almost publishing it, but then I put in more work to it. So I'm still working on it. I think by Thanksgiving, I'll have it out. So keep an eye on that. So I did the Trading Wisdom. I had a nice, this wasn't quite like part of the long form interview series, but I did an update with Chartman Dan, who's like, he's among the best. And playlist under my long form. I don't think I ever talked to Dan. There it is. So that's part of the long form interview series. So there's been content, even though I haven't been doing a live stream, but here I am, folks. You know how this works. I want you to tell me where you're from in the world. We have love from Jordan. Folks, let me know where you are in the world. It's a worldwide phenomenon. That's what it's all about. What's up, Chez? Nice to see you. Thank you so much. Sick track, no cap. That's Church of 8 Wheels. No cap, no cap. I've got the moves. I love dancing. I mean, music moves me, and get that spirit going. So thank you, folks who are staying up. I know many of you are up. It's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning in Europe or wherever you are. I feel you. All right. I'll make this worth your while. All right. I'm Big Chads on Twitter. You know that. Please check that out. I want to remind you, I'm a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live. Bitcoin Live is the best team in the world that studies Bitcoin. I say that with no reservations. It is the best team in the world that studies Bitcoin. I'm just one member. I do a twice a week full market update. I just did one last night. No matter what's happening in my life, I stop and do it. Great team. check it out if you're interested in taking your trading to the next level. We talked about YouTube. We talked about my book. I just closed that out. I didn't mean to, but that is fine. Um, and of course, I'm on Twitter. Let's jump right into Bitcoin. So what's going on with Bitcoin? So what I try to do in these updates is I try to do like tweets explained. I try to highlight tweets since my last time we've talked. So I have some tweets selected. I may or may not like stop and explain all of them. But before I do that, I mean, we'll just kind of set the table. Where are we, right? So, in all honesty, not a ton has really changed even since my last update a month ago. All right, because we're still in a sideways environment after a move down, and we can kind of contextualize that as being similar to the sideways movement. After the move down here, the EMA 34 recapture that kind of flipped things around. We've talked about that at great length. We have price action below the MA 200, price action below the MA 200. So we kind of get that. So, in many ways, we're basically just right back where we were here. But what's different is kind of the length of this consolidation. I mean, it's unusual to be going sideways for this long, 137 days. If you traded back in the 80-day rectangle here, as many of us did, this felt like forever. And now we really have forever, and a half with 131 days. It's kind of crazy at this point. So, I think I touched on that in one of these tweets where I talk about how, we should expect a big move given this, continued consolidation in this range. But really, you don't usually go this long without, a breaking one way or another. So, what's going to happen next? I don't think we know. We definitely don't know for sure. But I think if you try to puzzle the pieces together, I think you get into a situation where you think it's about a 60-40 bear split, right? Bears are 60% likely to win this battle. But that means you have to have a plan on both sides, right? You have to have a plan on both sides. If it's going to move to the upside, it's going to have to flip 22.5, right? It's going to have to flip 22.5 on the way to the upside, right? And even if it flips 22.5, it really needs 25.5, right, to get back up above the May 12th low and flip, flip the MA 200. Any kind of like bull run, any kind of real run, any kind of sustained run, not just a bounce where people take profit. And the hodlers are like, where's the beef? Where's the real run? Any kind of real run, where you're getting up to 35, 40K, you have to clear MA 200, you have to clear 25.5. So you have upside pivots, right? No matter what, it's nice because no matter what, like you can get upside exposure if the market turns. So it's okay to say, look, weekly chart is really bearish. Weekly chart's really bearish. We've never had the chart be this bearish. We've never spent this much time below the MA 200. The MA 200 in the history of Bitcoin has never been this flat. I think it's like about a 7% angle. It's never been this flat. And the more time we're below it, it will eventually flatten out and roll over. So, we're in major danger on the long-term trend, right? Look at all these nice bounces, recaptures the MA 200. And we're really failing here. So that shows weakness. This time we've spent below the prior all-time high. We're kind of right there now, but we're chopping through it. I think we're clearly not respecting this as a level. I think the biggest issue is this MA 200. And then you kind of zoom in, you look at the price EMA 8 interaction. We've only closed above the green line 3 times since we topped off. We did it here 1 candle, 2 candles, and then we had the 3rd candle right here. Right there. So these relief rallies, these mean reversions, in kind of in the process of consolidating since November of last year, they've stalled out, they fizzled out, at that EMA 8 area. So here we are. We are getting flatter EMAs though. So that, when you think about moving averages, they're best when they're interacted, when when you've kind of sharp action going on. Like crossing this way is good. But like crossing like this, it's like, it doesn't really give you much, right? You need a trend, all right? You need a trend to reverse, to cross. And so, and then I'll get into this a little bit more later with Bitcoin. I have a couple tweets marked out, but you see how the MAs are flattening out. So, you keep that in mind, even though we've only closed over it 3 times, it's becoming less important as the moving average flattens out this much. we're in this is just an unusual time to spend in this tighter range as we kind of saw on the daily chart. Now we're seeing that now on the weekly a little bit with the moving averages starting to flatten out, the 20 starting to flatten out. Normally, look at this. We're at the MA20. You say, okay, Chad, but hey, Chad, look, it's the first time we've um, hey, thank you. Thank you for showing up. You say, hey, Chad, it's the first time we've tagged the daily MA20 since April. That's something, right? Yeah, that's definitely something, but it's not as if we tagged it here on a sharp reaction off. you know, this would be like a momentum move, right? You have that overreaction dip, lower Bollinger, and momentum. It stalled out here, EMA 8. It couldn't make it. So this move, just like flat into the 20, that's different context. So that's that thing. This is a great opportunity to point out it's not always about the level or the price. It's about how it gets there and the context of it. So that's setting the table in the weekly chart and the daily chart. Let's get through these, or we'll be going forever. BTC, let's see. What do we think about this? So what happened here? I wanted to highlight this tweet. Advanced block and ETH tweezer at the upper Bollinger. Let's see if the market can push through that. All right. So what was that? Let's put that here. Okay. And we'll go to the daily chart. All right. So, okay. That was right around the height of this relief rally. So I mean, so in this channel, right? So you gotta have to use the Bollinger Bands, and you kind of see what happened here. We talked about the triple negative divergence, the rising wedge, all that good stuff. And you drop down, you're kind of testing the bottom of the channel. That's all pretty basic. But then you have the lower to upper Bollinger move in a downtrend, right? You like always pay attention to that. Always, always, always. And so we're up here and it's green, 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 green. I mean, and now we're MA50. And like you're in the back of your mind, this is where you're dropping a 4 hour, even maybe 1 hour, and you're looking for a topping pattern. And then you get the up thrust right here next day, goes up above, closes below. And this is kind of nasty outside bar, just kind of a devastating candle. But you could see here the day before the advanced block forming. And really what you see is the kind of the candle progression, the candle body progression, big to medium to small. So you're kind of always observing candle body progression as a representation of the momentum and the force, of the move. And then we're approaching MA 50 and boom, nice acceleration move. It looks like that was a fake out and then it gives it back, right? So you often see in these topping areas lots of fake outs in both directions. So it's not clean and easy unless you're really patient and each try has a tight stop loss and you're not waiting around forever. You might have tried here and been stopped out, but then you wait a little bit and then you get the up thrust, right there, the up thrust. You break a resistance and come back below it, boom, right? You always pay attention to that, right? A swing failure. Um, so here we're for Bitcoins, basically be on guard. And it wasn't like the exact top. It's not like I'm saying, hey, oh, I spotted the top. No, it's that what I'm trying to show is the market gave us a clue to start looking for a top. And it was there. It was there just the next day and really into the day after. It kind of formed here over the next couple days. And it made sense because it's a lower to upper Bollinger Band move in a downtrend. All right. Um, let's see, it's 5 a.m. and watching you. That's awesome. Fantastic. Good to see you, my friend Gagan Deep. So look, let's see what happened. So that was that. Now let's take a look at what happened on Ethereum as well. Right. So we need to feel like we're in control, right? And so let's see what happened. Boom, right there, right at the top of the move. And what is it? It's just a simple tweezer top. We see it. And why are we looking for it? Why are we looking for it? It's a lower to upper Bollinger Band move, kind of in a downward corrective channel. We already know we're likely, we start to get, support breakdowns. We already know we're kind of in the downward channel. So you get a lower to upper Bollinger Band move, and then the tweezers forming, boom, right? So tweezer, there it was. And we're just, ETH tweezer, upper ball. Let's see if the market can push through. It didn't. But, what was nice is the price gave us some type of a warning for that. Okay, so let's see. This is just me saying generally, this is September 16th. What we really need to bottom is some type of a high volume flush, right? We need something to change the current dynamic, right? This is just this, nothing's happening here. We're drifting lower. We're just gonna weird, boring sideways without any real volume or volatility. In my history and in my kind of experience trading Bitcoin, and not just that, but my studies of classical charting and just kind of understanding trend analysis is when you think about momentum, you need, and I always try to like use these war analogies, but you need momentum, a momentum shift, right? I spend all my resources to capture a hill from you in a battle. And then you quickly counterattack, and I lose that battle in the hill, but I've got nothing in reserves because I used everything to capture the hill. So now you're gonna roll over and just take my territory. It's momentum. So you look for something like that, and we often would get that with a panic high volume flush. I mean, if we get it, it'd be like the best thing, and it's somewhat counterintuitive. I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people would just be freaking out. But that's what we need is we need people to be freaking out in order for like a true bottom to be put in. That's my main thesis. And that's why I'm saying, 60, partially why I'm saying 60% likely to go lower. We looked at the technicals in the weekly. But again, just to remind you, we have trigger levels to go long. If the price shows me something new, I'll always adjust my thesis if the price shows me something else. So that is that. That's a Bitcoin needs. This is whatever. This is just me saying to people, there's just a lot of people, what was this? I saw there's a lot of people, and I try to, pay it a little bit of attention, but who didn't call the top, who are very bullish at the top, who are saying now, like, here's what I hate when I hear, um, everyone's expecting, everyone was wrong at the top, so now everyone's expecting 13K, so they're probably wrong again. But like, what is that? I mean, what is that? It annoys me. It's like, why should just because people were wrong before, they're right in the sense that they're wrong now. Like, why are we even paying attention to them? Like, why not pay attention to the people who were right before, right? And so, like, I've been looking for, I've been looking at the low teens, since March. We've talked about that March, April, and just because like the rest of the people catch up, I have to like abandon that. Like, I don't get that. We should pay attention to the people who got it right before, and not like it's just whole thing where it's like, we wash our hands from ever, being able to make a good decision because most people are wrong. It was just, I don't know, it's just one of those things where I was responding to that, and basically, it's not that important. So I've said what I wanted to say. Um, and this is the thing to keep in mind. You should always be able to, you should always be able to present, both like the bull and hey, David, thanks, man. Good to see you. You should always be able to present both a bull and bearish thesis. And even though, I'm leaning bearish because the price leans bearish, but I'm still kind of, I'm looking for a bull thesis. I don't want to get caught off guard. So I'm always trying to look for, and that's a good exercise. If you can argue for both sides, it's like being a good lawyer, but if you can argue for both sides, you won't get caught off guard. And so the bull thesis has always been a W. And here I was talking about a W inside a W, but we didn't form that second W. Let's go to that's ETH. Let's get back to Bitcoin though. So we didn't form that second W. So we've, for on all my streams, this is just quick review. Talk about the three W's, the double bottom higher low, double bottom equal low, double bottom lower low. We've talked about all those. This is the best type 3 here, right? With the spring, classic double bottom, trough, time interval, price distance, peak to trough, trough peak up here, and here, essentially just the higher low. So, we've talked about those as potential W, possibilities. And you can look at this, and this is kind of what Bitcoin tried to do on the 4-hour at around 50K right here. You can zoom in, you can see that a little bit, right? And that's been covered in my channel, other channels. If you're curious for more, go look that up. But the double bottom potential, but where's this? Like, what are we doing here? There's, and so I say W inside W. And so here's the first, and it's thinking, all right, boom. but we just didn't, never happened, kind of flattened out. So you've got this kind of just flat, right wing or right kind of right side of this consolidation channel. And yeah, whatever, a little minor breakout level here, but look at that, we're right back below it. So I think, again, just to back to the original, how I originally presented it, I think you have to stay kind of stalwart or just kind of strong in the sense that you're waiting for 22.5, or some type of a price interaction, with the bottom of the channel. Bull thesis. So that's again, I'm presenting the bull thesis, but it couldn't even follow through in the double W there. Yeah, look at Uni and Sushi. So there's actually a lot of alts that have given us some nice short setups. We'll walk through that. Uni had multiples. This is back here. So let's see. The chart has changed a lot since this tweet, but back here, I mean, look at that. That's gorgeous. As far as the short setup goes, it's beautiful. Because try to just let's just remove what's not important yet. So this is what we're dealing with here when we have the tweet. We have let's move that. The price is clearly topped off. We're below the moving averages. Now we're below the 50. You kind of understand, what you're dealing with, right? And then we have again the lower to upper Bollinger Band move, the lower to upper Bollinger Band move. Are you noticing a theme? Um, let's see. So you get the lower to upper Bollinger Band move, and then here, outside bar, right? This entire candle eclipses the range of the prior candle and gave you an up thrust over this high. So it was just gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful textbook setup. You've got really three strong points from just a basic, a bear thesis: lower to upper Bollinger Band move, the outside bar, and the up thrust. And then you have 0.4 M and the MA 200 underside. I mean, that's kind of up there with kind of top tier setups, just kind of based on that. And then you have the beautiful move. They had a beautiful flush from there. And, it's still within like a decent potential bottoming structure, and you can get that. Bulls still have some type of a general rounded bottom type of case. I mean, but if you're just trading a channel, I mean, lower to upper Bollinger Band in a downtrend, the outside bar, and now you're kind of watching here, choppy, choppy. You could have played the MA 200, boom, another rejection, and now recapturing the 200. But then we get the shooting star today. Shooting star, small candle body, right? A star is a doji or a spinning top, which is a small real candle body. You need at least twice the size of the body, upper shadow. You get that. So you get a shooting star with the up thrust. So that's like pretty decent, but that's not as good as here. This was a great short setup. This is like pretty okay, pretty decent little short setup. But this is really good because you're below the 200. Here, you're above the 200. So this is not as good. This is more like a grade B, type of setup, right? So you can kind of see the difference there. Thank you very much. I bought your first book off Amazon. What a great read. Oh, I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy my next book, and thank you so much. So that was Uni and Sushi at that time. What was Sushi doing at that time? Because the chart has changed, and I do want to talk about some of the recent altcoins setups and what they're doing right now. And that was right here as well. So we were looking at Sushi as well because these are downtrends. You kind of zoom out. How do I know it's a downtrend? There's your falling MA 200, the blue line, simple moving average. You're in a downtrend. And you're bouncing here essentially from the bottom of support or demand right up to resistance or supply. And you're just, again, looking for up thrusts. I just look for that. I just look for a resistance broken and then not held. I mean, it's just simple. It's keep it simple. I'm telling you, springs and up thrusts. So that's what we were looking at for Sushi. I'll get back to these other tweets. But I will say, like, ADA, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful short setup on ADA. You kind of wait, and this is the thing, and Bitcoin Live members, I get this question a lot from them, and it's where it will be in kind of one of these slow bleed times, and they'll, can I short this? And I just remind them, it's like you need a bounce to short something. You need a move to fade, right? If you want to go long, wait for a dip. If you want to go short, wait for a rip. And you wait for a well-defined kind of bounce where everyone's starting to believe again, and you just step back, you trust your charting, and you look at support, support, support that's been lost. You know it's resistance, right? You know it's resistance. MA50, and then we get the candle action. We start getting this upper shadow action here, spinning top, indecision. And kind of even before this candle collapsed and closed, you still had this kind of the feature of these upper shadows. You even if you're watching this, it wasn't looking good. And then it started to follow through from that. So this is just a really nice, really, really nice little short setup. And so you want to kind of learn to recognize that. And it may seem simple. Oh, how it can't be that simple where it's just support turns into resistance. Well, it often really is. And what's nice about this type of strategy is if you're wrong, you know immediately. You don't have to hang around forever. I mean, if you got up to about like here, you're out of the trade. I mean, you're not hanging around forever. So like 42.5 or whatever. I tweeted this setup out. It was super simple. The same thing for Sol. I mean, Sol's not as clear, not as well defined a short setup as ADA, but it's just a garbage chart. And I'm telling you, when I see a garbage chart bouncing, I'm looking for a short. I mean, it's made to fade. It's expected to fade. Here it's kind of rejecting again, underside of broken support. And then just like, we just closed this candle. That's outside bar, right? MA50 rejection. But how about yesterday? You're on watch from yesterday. You are watching. You are not. I mean, you can't feel good if you're long. You're moving your stop loss up, right? Seeing that candle interaction. So let's get through these. Did that. Let's see. What are we saying here? What are we saying here? This is cool. You can cut and paste. Oh, I didn't want to do that. You can cut and paste and see when I tweeted it. All right. I tweeted this here. All right. So this is where I was kind of wrong. This is where I enjoy kind of pointing out where I'm wrong a little bit. I say, okay, daily MAs are sideways. This is true. So you observe this. You're like, all these MAs are sideways. So um, you should remind yourself not to overreact to a moving average cross. And that given that they're all sideways, like they're just not as valuable in that environment. Moving averages are much more valuable used with volatility, especially EMA 8, resistance on the way down, right? Or on the way up. But sideways, who cares about a moving average? You're sideways. You know what your average is. It's sideways. It's just you don't need a moving average. So, basically I'm reminding people when I'm saying this, I'm tweeting this out. They're all sideways, and I'm trying to tell you and I'm not always explicit, right? I don't always explain every tweet. That's what these videos are good for, and the masterclass webinars and Bitcoin Live and my books and all that. You know, you can read a textbook too. I mean, moving averages going sideways. You understand that, or you should be able to. It's up. You have the ability to learn these things. Um, but I'm pointing out here, this is unusual and will not last. We're on the cusp of a large move. To me, everything back here, October 8th, that's like whatever, a couple weeks ago. I'm thinking we're ready to like rip or dip strong. And what did I get? Another like 2 weeks of sideways. I was completely wrong. That's how unusual this is. I was expecting a big rip and we went sideways for 17 days. So I have to recognize I was expecting a big move but we still haven't had it yet. And it's just a reflection on how unusual this trading setup is. I mean, it is really unusual. So what do we do, right? I still think that suggests everything I've studied, everything I know through experience. That suggests we have a large move coming. That's still true. As for when, that's out the window. I think it's really hard to time this. Anyone who's trying to time this, I think they're going to have trouble. So I still think we have a large move coming. And what can we do is play it with the strategies that we know work. We know we can go long at 22.5, manage our risk somewhere in that area, maybe have a stop loss at 22.2 or 3, right? We're not going to hold on forever. And then we have confirmation 25.5K. We get that. And there's the bottom of the channel. It's a little bit riskier, but I think the cleanest way to play it is on the, the nut low, the 17.6, 17.5 low. Excuse me one second. Is on that 17.5 low. And the ideal scenario, and this is one that I've mentioned for a long time, would be a temporary break of 17.5, sending the market into panic and a recapture. So that's our best play here on a dip. If it breaks below this low, it's gonna be uncharted territory in many ways because we're gonna start to form a new channel. So anybody who tries to tell you, that if we break 17, you're gonna wanna buy at 14 or right at 13.5, nobody knows. I'm calling BS on that because no one really knows. We have to see if it gets there. We have to see how it gets there, and um, just kind of watch the price interaction. We just know that there's generally an area of support, centered around 12K, 12 to 14K, but the meat of the support is like 12K. So it could bounce before that. It may never get there, right? But these are things you prepare yourself for, and you recognize where you have a clear play, which is 22.5 or 25.5, and you recognize where you have a, decent play here, 17.5. You recognize where you've got chop and you're going to avoid. And then down here, it's more like you're going to have to wait and see. So that's how you have to mark it up. You have to be ready. And that way you're kind of ready in some sense, for no matter what happens as best as you can. Monster outside bar on daily Bitcoin. I'm glad I'm doing this video. It's been a while. I've tried, I think, 2 or 3 times to do this. I just didn't have the mojo, or it wasn't anything that was going on. It's still pretty boring, but I'm glad I'm getting it done, because this is important work. Monster outside bar, and so this is a nice candle here. This is a beautiful candle here for bulls, right? So we talked about up here. We get some really nice candle signals up here. We did that earlier. Ethereum tweezer and the advanced block. This is a nice candle, the outside bar hammer. It's beautiful. Look at this long lower tail, gorgeous candle. It's a hammer after move down, right? You want a hammer candle after move down, like sideways into a hammer candle. Like, who cares, right? It's the same concept. It's the same concept as a moving average sideways. You need something to reverse. A hammer candle after sideways is useless. It's nothing. It's not nothing, but it's not nearly as good as this. After a move down, middle Bollinger to lower Bollinger hammer. I'm sorry, pardon me. I got out of place. Upper Bollinger to lower Bollinger. It's a pretty strong move, right? In a channel with the hammer candle. And you had some consolidation, but boom, higher low, and then go. And then a bounce to the upper Bollinger, right? And now we're looking for a retracement again. And we're going to get to that in the following tweets. But here, this monster outside bar, this is a nice candle. This gave you some hope that you were going to at least do a lower to upper Bollinger Band move, and that's what happened. And then here we go. This is from a few days ago, October 14th. How time flies, huh? October 14th. And by the way, I'm sorry, I'm not really paying attention to the chat room as much as I might. I don't have a team. It's just me. I'm just a dude hanging out. So there's some great comments, and I'm sorry I'm missing them. Thank you, JV. Thank you so much. I just don't, again, I'm sorry that I'm missing your comments, but I'm just happy you're here. I'm glad you're hanging out with me. I wear a mask for privacy, actually. It's I enjoy doing this. I want you to see my body language and to connect with me, and and I think it makes the teaching and the learning better. But it's just privacy, agent. It's privacy. Um, let's see. Thank you. Appreciate that, JV. So that next up we have something we're observing, the MA50 price interaction. So this is back here. This is the day after. Right, this is the day after. I was talking about the outside bar. I'm also letting you know to pay attention to the daily MA50, because I'm saying back here that the daily MA50 has stalled these relief rallies the last couple of times. Stalled it here, stalled it here. So we get the nice bounce, and then what happens right here? Stalled again, right at the MA50. Came back, right? Came back, MA50 rejection, and then there we get our higher low right there. We set our low, bounce to the expected resistance, come back. So it's one of those things where if you think something, if you think the bottom's in, you're gonna get a chance for a higher low somewhere. Is this magnet mode's on? This doesn't look right. But you're gonna get a chance, you're gonna get a chance most likely, right, for a higher low. If you think the bottom's in, you're gonna get a chance to, somewhere, boom, you get like a higher low. And you always watch for that, right? So here's your higher low, MA50. Um, and so we're paying attention, right? Daily MA50, we're paying attention, right? Um, Going to hunger strike. I mean, this is just me basically saying, I wish there was more going on. This is funny. This one's super funny. It's the same. Before and after. It's the same. He just lost money. I mean, it's not funny, but we have to laugh at ourselves because I've done it. I've done it many times. But, I'm going on a hunger strike. I want some action. It's boring, and this, 17.5 or, 17.5, which is the lows of the channel, and 22.5, the key pivot level I've talked about. So you get that. You understand what I'm saying here. And let's see. At least Bitcoin's trading at 20K. Asked me 3 months ago, and this is true. So this is the case. So again, I'm always kinda trying to see all the possibilities. I'm trying to be as objective as I can, even though I still think bears probably will take it down to where it probably wants to go. Um, I don't wanna get caught off guard. I take what I do seriously. I have fun, I'm trying to get better, and, always trying to get better. And, but I'm trying to provide a service too, and I wanna be good, right? I'm competitive. I wanna be really good at what I do. And, so you have to kind of always be, even if I'm thinking I'm really bearish, I'm asking myself, "Well, am I missing something?" It's okay. We're still at 20K, you know? We're still at 20K. It's crazy. I mean, I really at this point, I'm saying here I am a week ago saying, I would have thought we'd already broken down by now, and that is true. After this action here, after the triple divergence, the outside bar, the rising wedge breakdown, I would have thought we would have broken down, at latest, really September, because I was always thinking October bottom for Bitcoin. For some reason, I was thinking Q4 bottom and maybe get that lower low in September, September, October. And we don't have it yet. I mean, we tested it a couple times. So I have to be true and say to myself, I was expecting us we'd be lower by now, and we're not. We're still at 20K, and that's still true. And here we are at 20K. So, say what you will, and we're still at 20K. So that's what that tweet is all about. Now this is Ched's, it's like Ched saying to you, why don't you wait another hour before you drive, drink some water. You're not ready to drive yet. You had too many drinks. I'm the friend who's trying to get you to, slow down a little bit. You're not ready yet. Just chill out. And I think we have to, respect the upper Bollinger. And if we look at really the upper Bollinger, right, what's happened after price interaction with the upper Bollinger, right? What's happened with the price after upper Bollinger interaction, right? And we're going back to March. I mean, we can keep going, we can keep going, right? So, um, December. I mean, so let's understand that even if the bottom is in, it probably will pull back a little bit. Yes, it could start the faded, the beloved, the mythical, EMA 8 to upper Bollinger type of an uptrend that we've talked about. See in the masterclass, right? That's what you get in the most pure forms of uptrends. It's impossible, but like I don't think so. I don't see any real evidence of that. And I think we actually have some bearish divergence as well on the OBV. We have bearish divergence, right? We see an unsupported new high in the price, right? We're calculating divergence based on the candle body close to close, this red candle, unsupported new high. Now it's not as bad as it was yesterday, right? Because yesterday we closed up here, stronger divergence. It's resolved a little bit. This divergence would resolve with the price around 19.7, right? Essentially the OBV matching the slope of the price. It's just a single divergence. It's not something you would open a short on, but it's just another piece of data, especially with the upper Bollinger Band interaction. And I just circled for you. I showed you the history of that and the power of that. I mean, you got to play these Bollinger Bands, these lower to upper Bollinger moves. So, this is what I'm saying when I put out this tweet. This is what and then, it's just a little arrow, right? I didn't circle all the tops. I have to make a choice every tweet, like how much effort I put into it. I can't like attach 3 charts on every tweet. I could, but like I'd hate what I do. I have to balance it to keep going and to keep providing value, but also to push you to learn and all that. So, all you got from me in the tweet was this little red arrow, but you get the video from me and I walked you through it. So now you understand what I'm trying to say. And this is interesting. So now we're wrapping things up. We're back in the last tweet. I started out this chart session by talking about 22.5, the bottom of the channel. It's interesting to see the strength here in Ethereum, and we see here expressed with the Ethereum BTC pair chart the relative strength. So what does my tweet say? My tweet says the ETH strength versus Bitcoin, that's this chart, makes me more skeptical of the staying power of Bitcoins. And now I have 3 data points. I have the price at the upper Bollinger Band 1. I have the OBV bear divergence 2. And now I've got the strength of Ethereum. Like Ethereum overperforming Bitcoin, it's not good for Bitcoin. It helped us spot the top back in October and November. You don't have to believe me. You can just watch my videos. And it helped us spot this top here on the macro lower high and that broader consolidation from the April top. You don't have to believe me. You can go watch the videos. So when you see Ethereum starting to outperform, yes, it's context based. It's not all you can't always do. It doesn't always mean exactly as cleanly as I explained it to mean, or I inferred that it would mean based on that interaction, in April, in the September, lower high. But as a general concept, if you think about money flows, if Ethereum's outperforming, like the Bitcoin's not leading the way, and Bitcoin needs to lead the way out of this range. Thus far we just have Bitcoin still minor bounce. You had a nicer play off of Ethereum, that nice 1420 flip. This is a pretty clean long signal, the 1420, 1430. Will it bear more fruit? I don't know, but it's still, so far it's just a bounce within a downtrend. We haven't even tested the 200. This is above. You're looking at a bounce in a downtrend. Every trade needs to start with you looking at this blue line and understanding what you're dealing with. If you're trying to go long, you're going against the trend. So you need to be careful going long in these charts with a falling 200. So far, that's just what we have. And here we have this lower high structure. We need to see that changed. Clearly above 1800, you can very confidently go long. You'd be flipping the 200 and that lower high. But this tweet, is basically saying it's just another data point to be more careful with Bitcoin, and to treat this as a chop range in here. I'm not trading this range. It's a choppy range. If you went long in 20.5, what's your stop loss? You're probably going to get chopped out. You might even have been stopped out already. I think we need to wait for a major change of structure out of this channel. I think we need to understand these are the most basic peasant metrics. You're about to see some results. That's what it's all about, my friend. It's all about the price, and it's all about simple technique. We need to understand, given how long we've been consolidating in this range, it's gonna be a big move. So if you believe that it's gonna be a big move, it doesn't matter that you don't have to catch all of it, the nut bottom. You can miss the first 5-6% of it to ride with the trend. So, and in the meantime, you avoid getting chopped out while you're waiting for the move to unveil itself. We need to wait for more information. And that's kind of that's the position we're in right now. I'm just gonna check in with the chat room. Folks, let me know again where you're from. I just want to say hello to you all throughout the world. Um, let's see what's going on with everybody. Checking in the chat room. You got this. All right, chilling, hanging out. Let's see what everyone is saying in the chat room. He teaches you for free. Yeah, I'm just having fun. Thank you. I enjoy interacting with you folks. Great stream. Thank you, Hurls. Thank you so much. Let's see what's going on. Catching up with everybody. Musk has bought Twitter. Cool. I mean, let's see what happens if they can deal with that bot situation. I think that would be great. Pure Alpha. That's how we do. And thank you for sharing your knowledge. Again, you need to look. You have to watch these videos. This playlist. I don't trade anymore until you've watched these videos. It's going to help you so much. It's going to help you so much. Trust me, trust me, trust me. Please watch these before you risk even another dollar. Let's go to the end, to the new comments. Hello from Thailand. Hawaii. What island are you on? I spent some time in Oahu. I was lucky enough. Spend some time there. Drop the mask. I already told you I'm not going to drop the mask. So why don't you drop the subject, my friend? India, nice to see you as well. AL Atlanta. That's ATL. AL. Let's see. Colorado. All right on. Great, Jeff. It's great to see you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bronx, New York. New York's a great place. Good to see you, Isaac. Thanks for hanging in today. New Jersey, been there many times. Romania, I've not, but I'd like to. Nice to see you from Romania. Thank you so much. Philippines, ¿cómo está, Po? Nice to see you, Rendell. I have some friends from the Filipinos. I have some friends from the Philippines. Let's see. Started watching you beginning of the year. That is awesome. That's so great. You need time and practice. Listen, new traders, you need to do two things. Watch the masterclass tutorials, and these Twitter spaces are just unbelievable. I'm really proud of this new body of work. This is some of the best stuff you can absorb as a new trader. It's each video is like 20, 25, 30 random questions. A lot of them are just like brand new traders asking questions. And chances are they're things that you're thinking about and problems you're dealing with. These are just honest, great conversations. Check it out. The Big Island. All right. Great to hear you. Book, thank you so much. Book is incredible. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Colorado, Europe. Nice to see you from Europe. And Monaco. Very cool. Very cool. Mexico. That's great. That's great. Pakistan. Nice to see you. Rhode Island. The Rhode Island plantation. What's going on? Nice to see you. Brazil. Buona noche. Falkland Islands. Malaysia. Ohio. TA's fun, man. I'm glad I inspired you. This is great, folks. Melbourne. Folks, thanks for indulging me. I try to add value, but without you, it did, Canada, I love Canada. And Turkey. I'm watching this show called Resurrection Ertugrul. It's about like 13th, 14th century, like the Seljuks, like the Turkish, the Turks back then. And it's really interesting. Each season's like 70 episodes. It's ridiculous, but it's interesting. I'm into it. It's interesting. Munich, very cool. Singapore, wonderful. Folks, thanks for hanging out with me here tonight. I don't often do these, as you know, but we started out, and I reminded you that since the last time we have spoken in this format, I've put out a decent amount of content, and there's still like tiny views. I mean, it's dead out there, but doesn't mean you can't take advantage of what's out there. I've 5 Twitter spaces since the last time we talked. Great conversation with one of my most favorite traders out there, Chartman Dan. new version of my book. I'll probably do actually 2 new versions, 17 and 18, 2 chapters. I'll probably do another one in the next week or so. I'll just take that opportunity to remind you I'm getting ready to publish trading quotes. This will be out by Thanksgiving. 365 quotes, 1 quote a day. And I do like a quarterly roundup where I talk about my favorite quotes. It's a really cool project. I wanted to publish it earlier, but I keep working on it. I keep refining it. It's just maddening. Writing a book is maddening. It's never done. You keep refining it. You keep refining it. It's never done. Thank you, Simon. It's great to have you. Lisbon, Kashmir as well. Lisbon as well. Okay, Dixie analysis. All right, a couple people asked. We'll do that. So look, I mean, Dixie's still in an uptrend, but barely. I mean, we look at Dixie. I mean, clearly it's a strong trend. You would play this. I mean, whatever this is, you're going to say, I want to be long in this. I think, if we're being honest, right? If you just look at this chart, um, you know, if you look at this chart, if you look at this chart, you're going to want to go long, right? All the moving averages are rising. MA 200's rising. I kind of circled here what has happened in the past with the price dipping, to the lower Bollinger and the MA 50. So this is a level where, like, if you're betting, if I was just to show you this chart and say, if you had to guess whether we're going to go to, 108 first or like 112 first, you'd have to bet 112. It's just what we're seeing right now. And yes, I get that we'd have a pretty big drop here from whatever 115. It's still bullish in my view, based on my system, my understanding of technical analysis. This is the prior high that we've recaptured. I think as long as we're, given the proximity of this high to the lower Bollinger Band and the MA 50 up here, like this is the stop loss. This is the level where I think you'd really start to say, okay, this trend has lost momentum. So this is the level, anything above 109, I am strongly believing the bulls will continue, right? But this, below that, I'm thinking, okay, maybe we're going to MA 200, if we get below 109. So we're right there, but still, I mean, look at this. Look at this strong uptrend. It's just a retracement to MA 50, and we're still holding the prior high. So, that's my DXY analysis. Buy big what? I mean, what? I wouldn't buy anything big. I think you need to scale into your positions. The idea of you don't buy big. What you should do is start small, and you can add into your position. Either if, let's say you're holding for a longer term, you start small, and maybe if it goes to the next key level, you can add a little bit more. Or if it continues and it's doing what you thought it was going to do, and it say you're long and it recaptures a key level, you can add more. You can add into it. Like, you shouldn't just buy big. I mean, you're setting yourself up for disaster. Large positions are incredibly difficult to manage. Netherlands. All right, that's it. I'm Big Cheds on Twitter. It's been an honor. I've enjoyed doing this. Check me out on Twitter. The book is available on Amazon in 4 formats: Kindle, hardcover, audiobook, or paperback. You can get the book for free on my YouTube in the playlist Trading Wisdom, 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. The book has great reviews. Thank you to everyone. Appreciate your feedback. I'm glad that the book has resonated. Check out the rest of my work on YouTube. I highly recommend you watch the masterclass tutorials. New traders must watch and listen to these Twitter Spaces conversations. You must listen to these. When you're ready, when you're serious, you join Bitcoin Live. Bitcoin Live is the best-in-class educational platform for crypto. I think the best team in the world that covers Bitcoin. I'm a founding analyst. It's just an unbelievable team. Nothing comes close to it. I personally do twice a week, full market update. When you join, you get access to everyone's stuff. It's just a great team. Check it out if you want to take your game to the next level. But look, there's just great free resources out there as well. So take advantage of the free stuff. Soak it up, and if you're ready, move on. Thanks for hanging out with me here tonight. This video will go into the playlist This video will go into the playlist for this we're going to play it for quick market updates. Nope, that is market moves explained. Yep, market moves explained. So this will go into this playlist, and that is that. So who cares about playlists? We're here to dance. We're here to dance. Let's get this going, folks. Anyway, before I dance, just want to say thanks again. Thanks for hanging out. Stay strong, bet small, use your trading journal, and I think you'll be okay.